Well, joining us now on the line is Ronnie Biggs' lawyer, Giovanni Di Stefano. Thank you, sir, for joining us on Afternoon Live. You've heard what happened at the parole board this morning. Is that what you were expecting?
Well, I wasn't expecting exactly that, but it didn't come as a surprise when Tim Morris sent me an agreed press release from both parties, ourselves and from the parole board, that it would be wholly wrong for the parole board to release Ronnie Biggs to nowhere. And that is exactly the situation that has almost arisen. We couldn't quite agree the residential care home in time for this hearing, and I didn't want to adjourn this hearing that occurred today. But we're talking about days, not weeks or months. We're days away from either the Barnet Health Authority or the Norfolk Health Authority having to find a place for Mr. Biggs to live, and it's whether he lives in Norfolk or whether he lives in Barnet near his son Michael. We say Barnet, but it could be Norfolk. One thing is for certain, Kay, is that on July the 4th, Independence Day, this man will be released.
Is it the right time?
You don't sound convinced.
I'm just wondering, whether it's the right time. I was wondering how to phrase my next question, actually, sir. Whether it's appropriate that he is released now. I know that you will come back to me and say all the other train robbers served 10 years as well, a third of the sentence, which was acceptable in the 1960s. But, you know, he didn't accept his sentence and he did do a runner. Shouldn't he be penalised for that?
Well, that was a course that was open to the Crown Prosecution Service in 2001. It's a course that they chose not to take, and that is a matter for them. So there was no question of Mr. Biggs facing any kind of trial for an offence of absconding from lawful custody. And he hasn't led a bed of roses life in Brazil. Far, far, far from that. And I think that both Michael Biggs and Martin Brunt have described exactly what it was like for him in Brazil. It wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy, but are you suggesting that you would like the British public to sympathise?
Well, it's not a question of sympathy. I'm a lawyer. Sympathies are for priests, not for us there. So I'm saying that I've got 49,000 people that have written to me on the website and actually put a postage stamp on a letter, more than 10,000 letters. They are the real victims of the great train robbery. It is the public, because it is the public purse that paid for the £2 million there. And under the current legislation, that you can have an victim impact statement. I sought advice from the parole board, and the parole board allowed me to send a sample collection. I think I sent 1,000 examples of individual letters from all spheres of life, all who've said, Ronnie Biggs, 10 years, he's done 10 years of a 30-year sentence, should be released.
And do you feel that he regrets what he did?
Well, he certainly regrets taking part. Let me tell you what the agreed on the parole board statement there. The agreed role that Mr. Biggs played in the great train robbery was simply to handle mailbags full of money from the floor and put them into the van. He never went on the train. He was never charged with an offence of violence. He was never, there was never any question of violence as far as Ronnie Biggs is concerned. Of course, Mr. Mills was assaulted, but it's strange, actually, that none of the other train robbers was actually charged with assault. So that's another thing that one has to sort of obviously take up with the authorities, and certainly not with defence lawyers, as to why that happened.
A final thought. You are confident, Mr. Stefano, that he will be out of jail by the 4th of July?
Mr. Biggs returned to this country to